All right, so we're diving into something kind of wild today. Ukraine pulled off a drone strike, and not just like a little one.
No, not at all. We're talking deep, deep inside Russia.
900 kilometers, if you can believe the reports. Let me think.
Like New York to Chicago, practically.
Exactly. It's a long way to fly a drone, to say the least. So, before we even get into the why, what was the target that made this worth the risk?
Okay, so the target was the Sverdlov military plant in a place called Dzerzhinsk. Now, that name might not mean much, but...
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell right off the bat.
Right. But this plant, this is where Russia makes a lot of its explosives. We're talking artillery shells, the stuff that's used day in and day out in this war.
Oh, wow. So this wasn't just some random attack. They went right for something critical.
They went for the heart of Russia's ability to wage war, at least in part. Every shell those factories make, every warhead, it comes from somewhere. Take that away, even temporarily.
And their ability to keep fighting takes a hit.
Exactly. Plus, you got to consider the psychological effect this has.
Yeah, because it's one thing to, be under attack on your own soil, but to have something hit that far inside your territory.
It sends a message, right? And I actually saw this quote from Ukrainian intelligence. They're basically saying, economic sanctions are one thing, but we've added drones to the mix for a more, shall we say, immediate impact.
Which makes sense, right? Like, sanctions take time to really bite. This, this is Russia waking up to an unpleasant surprise.
Precisely. And it says to everyone, not just Russia, that Ukraine's getting creative. They're not afraid to push back, even if it means taking the fight to the enemy's backyard.
It's like they're rewriting the rules of engagement, using tech to break down those traditional barriers of warfare.
100%. This drone strike, it's a sign of the times. Drones could just bypass so many of the risks of sending in, say, fighter jets.
But isn't there still a huge risk with this kind of attack? I mean, hitting a target that deep inside another country feels like a major escalation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This could easily spiral out of control. This time, it was a military target. But what happens when or if these attacks are aimed at, like, power grids, civilian infrastructure?
Okay, yeah. That's getting really scary. Suddenly, this feels a lot bigger than just, a regional conflict. This tech, this strategy, it could be used anywhere.
And that's the truly unsettling part. This drone strike, it's like a preview of what future conflicts could look like.
Right.
And it raises a huge question for all of us. In a world where distance doesn't matter so much anymore, how do you actually protect yourself?
It's a chilling thought, honestly. So to recap, we've got this incredibly bold drone strike, a target that was chosen to really make Russia hurt, and a message sent loud and clear to the whole world.
Don't forget, though, the most important takeaway here might be the tech itself. This could be the start of a whole new era of warfare, and frankly, that's a little terrifying.
And that, I think, is where we leave it for our listeners today. This idea, this world where nowhere feels truly safe anymore, that's something worth thinking about.